Hello everyone, my name is Emily Beale. I'm the Channel Development Manager for ACT and New South Wales here at Ingram Micro, and I'd like to welcome you today to our Cloud Elevate webinar. So today we'll be going through the Microsoft CSP program. That will be covered off by Microsoft MVP Robert Crane, and then I will be going through why CSP through Ingram Micro. So just a general agenda for today. We'll go through an introduction to the CSP program, CSP and its benefits, why CSP through Ingram Micro, what is NextCP and what does that have to do with CSP, as well as the advantage of NextCP and self-service. So I'm actually going to hand over to Robert Crane to go through the CSP information.
All right, thank you very much. So let's make sure that if I click, I can get to the next slide. There we go. So the important thing to consider now in a revenue model for an MSP is that the way that you generated revenue or the way that you accumulated revenue is now very different from the way it used to be. What we see now is far less opportunity in the pure product resale. So the days of buying a product, slapping a two-digit margin onto it, and then selling that out direct is basically almost completely gone. The reason for that is the commoditization of the IT market, also the competition down in the consumer space, and also we now face consumers who are far more educated and have access to far more information. Now, that means that we need to look at different locations or different opportunities when it comes to our revenue streams for our business. So a lot of that now is going to come from our projects. So those projects traditionally were things like migration, so moving data from one server box to new hardware and so on. And again, you'll see that that has also changed because now in a lot of cases when we have moved or migrated our data into something like Office 365, there's no more email style migrations. There are ongoing migrations of data and whatnot, but generally that sort of project has a limited lifespan. But the opportunity then is that we have projects that will continue on, such as building an intranet, such as, again, moving things from IaaS into PaaS. So again, they will still exist, but probably not in the same size or volume as they used to. The good old managed services will continue because simply clients don't want to manage their IT. That's what they pay IT providers to do. That is going to continue on. The tools, the interfaces, the services will differ slightly, obviously, but basically what we're going to see is we're going to see that that management of an email address is still required. The management of a user is still going to be required. The changing of the passwords, the moving of the on-prem environment into the cloud and then managing those servers in IaaS is still going to be a managed service. So that is still going to be a very large majority of the revenue. Now, the real opportunity and where a lot of partners are looking to obviously generate more revenue is in the packaged IP. So the idea here is that rather than providing, for example, a plain vanilla migration service, the idea is you would bundle in some additional special source from your organization into that to generate you additional revenue. You might also look at things like working with Power BI to create additional revenue opportunities that are unique to you. Now, those services can be obviously sold to the client. They can also be provided in marketplaces. So if you go out and write some software, that can also be provided as well. But as you can see from this graphic here, the majority of the revenue opportunity going forward for a lot of providers is going to be basically around packaged IP. It's going to be around the secret sauce, the special products, the unique offerings that you can bring to the market and then resell. Now, being unique, that means that you're going to have control of that and it's going to set you apart from most other providers. Now, at the moment, we have three models typically to sell Azure, but also to sell Microsoft 365. So we have customers who typically go pay as you go. They basically break out their credit card. They pay on a demand basis. They are billed for that on their credit card on an ongoing basis. In most cases, the reseller is not involved in the financial transaction, is generally a financial relationship directly between the customer and Microsoft. The reseller can obviously then bundle their own services on top of this, but again, this will come as an extra bill, an extra invoice, additional workload there. The second option is typically around the open licensing program. So the open licensing program generally is an older style licensing program. It was designed for a generation where upgrades typically happened every 3 to 5 years, and that was typically the cycle. So you buy an open license, you then renew it every 3 years. It would give you a certain set of rights for that period. Again, that is still available today, but as you can appreciate, that again can be difficult to manage. That can also be a bit cumbersome when you have users wanting to make changes on a monthly basis. So what's happened now is you've also got the ability to do things like enterprise agreement, and we've also now got the CSP program. Okay, so the idea in this environment is that with the CSP program, it's a recognition that most of the services that customers were traditionally purchasing for on-prem have moved to the cloud. It also recognizes that the reseller wants to own the customer relationship. So basically, the reseller wants to be able to bill the customer for the products that they are buying and the services, as well as any additional services or add-ons, value adds that the reseller is adding. They want that to be put into a single bill. They want that to be basically billed through their environment on their letterhead, and they don't want, again, a third party involved. So that's where the CSP program has come in to allow that. It basically means that the CSP provider will be able to do those services and manage that customer through their complete life cycle. The customer should not receive a bill from Microsoft. It all should come from the reseller who's providing it through the CSP program. What it also does is it also automatically attaches that partner to that customer. So they have access in their portal, they're associated in that partner in the back end, so Microsoft can see which partner is servicing them. So again, not only does the reseller have the direct relationship when it comes to billing, it also means that that partner is also basically attached to that customer automatically. Now, as I mentioned, the CSP program, again, is a program that is designed to allow the reseller to manage the end-to-end engagement for the customer. This means that they have the responsibility not only for invoicing, they also have the direct responsibility for support. And this is now available in all the Microsoft cloud services. So again, when you look at Office 365, when you look at Microsoft 365, when you look at Azure, Dynamics, they're all available via the CSP program. So again, you've got the flexibility to be able to invoice the customers directly using that medium. You can support the customers directly, and the idea then is you can also bundle up any additional offerings that you have and send to the customer in a single invoice. So what the CSP program is going to enable partners to do is it's going to allow them to set the price they want and the terms with the customer. So although Office 365 has a set RRP per license, maybe you want to bill it as a billing of the license, including support for a monthly fee. So any monthly fee that you bill the customer includes so much support, it includes so many additional add-on or additional features. So again, you can set the price. There's necessarily no RRP that customers can use to compare in the market if you so choose. All right. Partners also get the ability to directly provision and manage the subscription. So the management and the provisioning comes directly from the partner, typically through the disti like Ingram. This gives you far better control. It gives you a single pane of glass to manage all your customers in one hit, to change their licenses, to update, to look at their billing. And from your point of view also, as an MSP, it makes life easier because, again, you typically receive one bill for all the CSP licenses that you control, and then you can break those up and invoice the clients as other clients directly. Now, the important thing here to note is that you do get the flexibility with billing customers directly, but the responsibility that comes with that is that you are the first line of support. So if you have an Office 365 tenant that is under CSP and the customer needs some support, they will be coming to you as the provider of that. They can't directly log a call with Microsoft. They need to go through you. If you are unable to solve it, you then need to escalate that to Ingram, and then Ingram can, if required, escalate that to Microsoft and log the case. So the CSP support model is basically the same as the invoicing model, right? So that means that it's the customer goes to the partner then goes to Ingram then goes to Microsoft, all right? So again, it gives you that flexibility in invoicing, but also remember that it does give you some requirements when it comes to support. So the idea here is you can create a cloud subscription partner offer. Now that offer can be tailored to suit your customers. It may be, 5 of these licenses, 2 of these licenses. It may be Dynamics plus Business Premium. It might be Office 365 plus a bit of Azure. You can then set the package price and sell directly to customers, okay? So the customer sees one price, even though it's composed of a number of additional items in there. And then that order is placed with Microsoft. And again, from your point of view, from MSP point of view, the customer will see it as a single solution, allowing them to do their job. They don't need to know or need to understand exactly what the licensing and the subscriptions are. That's all managed by the partner and all made easy by the CSP panel that can be pushed, that can allow licenses to be pushed in and out. So typically what we see in an open licensing environment is the use of keys. So we need to put in our product keys, we need to manage them, we then need to apply them to a tenant, and that becomes quite cumbersome. If you've ever done it with Azure, Azure basically uses the same sort of keys, but provides credits into Azure based on those keys. When that credit runs out, then you would need to put more credit and keys in there. So the CSP model allows you to manage all that, removes all the need for keys, and allows you to push it directly in for multiple clients, all from a single portal that someone like Ingram will provide for you. All right, so again, the idea here is that you want to look at managing the client end-to-end. This is very similar to what MSPs have always done with the on-premises environment. So it will allow you, as I've mentioned, to bill directly. So you can bill per annum if you want. If they're comfortable with that, you can bill monthly if you want, what generally works. Now, most products today in the cloud are billed monthly. So Office 365 is typically offered per month, but there are also plans that will run for a 12-month if there is a commitment there. So you've got the flexibility with this program to, again, bill monthly if you want, or again, you can bill annually, or if you want to bill for 3 years, you can certainly do that. But you can build your own pricing structure that suits your environment based on this. And you can have some customers on a 3-year billing cycle, some customers on 12 months, some customers on a month-to-month. It's up to you. You've got that flexibility when it comes to the CSP program. All right, now the idea here is it's going to make it much easier. It's going to give you the flexibility. So when customers decide, look, we want more of this, or we want to change this, you're able to react very quickly. Doing so in an open environment, an open subscription, again, has required pro rata, has had confusion when it comes to when the open license does complete. CSP removes all that, just makes it nice and easy, and basically looks at it on a month-by-month basis. Now, again, cash flow is always king here. The more often that we get our cash flow, typically on a monthly basis, the stronger that our business will be able to be. And again, I think it's fast becoming something that most customers are comfortable with, a month-to-month billing. Now, obviously, you can go out and provision those subscriptions. You can also use tools that are part of Office 365. Now, with the marketplace, for example, that Ingram offers, you can then bundle in maybe a third-party AV or a migration tool or whatever else into this, all from a web interface, okay? So this allows the bundling of Office 365, Azure, other Microsoft Cloud products, as well as third-party offerings that, again, are available to you from Ingram. All right, so this means that it's going to be quicker and easier for you to deploy licenses, to get it out to clients, to allow you to react quickly to what they want. If they add another user, they're going to come to you and say, look, we need this user license quickly. They need to have dynamics, they need to have an AV, they need to have this. You can push all that out from the portal rather than having to go and modify an open agreement or whatever. And again, the whole idea here is you own the support, right? You manage the support like you manage the invoicing. This means that the client is going to be coming to you. They can't log a support call with Microsoft Direct in their portal. That will direct them to you as the primary contact. Then if you need assistance, you need to look to Ingram and then Microsoft up the chain, all right? So again, it means you own the invoicing side of it, the billing, and you also own the support end to end. And this applies for Office 365, Azure, anything that's sold via the CSP program. All right, so the idea here is, as you can see, we've got products like Azure, products like Office 365, the EMS suite, Enterprise Mobility, Dynamic CRM, and of course, don't forget now that Microsoft 365 Business and Enterprise are also available via CSP. So again, the same sort of abilities here can be used generally across the Microsoft cloud environment. All right, so we're going to see this be more and more the case as more products and services are moved to this model because it provides flexibility. We're also seeing third-party providers move to a very similar modeling, a per-month billing model, allowing to be billed in with CSP as well. The focus, as we've already mentioned, is the end-to-end customer lifecycle and relationship. The billing and support is done directly by the MSP. Microsoft, again, is behind the distributor like Ingram. All right, so again, all the customer knows it's everything, the licensing, the support, everything is coming from you, including the billing. Now, the important thing, going back to the original slide here, is the fact that you can now start to bundle in your own IP. So what that means is, like I said, is maybe you want to set up a managed service to build an intranet or manage an intranet or to do training on a monthly basis. You can bundle that in with what's offered by the Microsoft environment. So you might say, okay, an Office 365 license is $20 a month per user, but we will bundle in unlimited support, a telephone support, and we will bundle in monthly training for an extra $15 a user, and that's the bill that the customer sees. So they would see $35 a month to cover all that environment. So again, you don't have to break it out individually. The success, I think, is the ability to work out your own IP, bundle that all in, and offer it as a unique offering to the customer. All right, and if down the track, for example, the customer wants to add something like Azure or Dynamics, you can do that and roll that into the bill quite easily without, again, having to go through a lot of back-end administration to do that. Now you'll see that there is a link there, aka.ms/cloud solution provider, to give you some more information. You will get the slides, obviously, after the event here. Now, in our CSP world, there actually are two business models. There is a direct and an indirect, all right? So the model that we're talking about here will be the indirect. So as you can see, Microsoft provides it to a distributor, in this case Ingram, who then provides it to a reseller and to a customer. There is also the opportunity to go to a direct model, but again, there would be certain volume criteria and other requirements there. So most people definitely will start in the indirect model, and that means they'll be leveraging off what someone like Ingram's doing already with the Microsoft Cloud. And it also means that they'll be able to leverage off the marketplace that Ingram's created that allows you to add in third-party products into that, bundle that all in, and then provide that to the customer quickly and easily, again, all via the web. So the models are there, and again, the typical place to start is the indirect model, which we're talking about, but there are options beyond that if you're able to grow your license revenue beyond that. All right, so again, as we've mentioned, you can sell to the customer, you can add your value services, you get to provision the customer, you get to manage it, and again, you get to bill and support. So it brings the customer closer to the provider. It basically means that now there's not this separation between, okay, this business manages this, Microsoft looks after my licensing, I have to manage that. If I have problems, I need to talk to Microsoft direct or to the third party direct. The idea here is it makes it simple for the customer in the fact that they go back to the provider to get all the answers. It makes it simpler for the MSP partner, because what they can do is, again, they then go to Ingram to deal with any issues. They can be escalated to Microsoft or to the third-party option here, okay? So what we're seeing now is a removing of the complication, a single direct line of support, and at the end of it, the customer only sees the MSP reseller, okay? They don't have the complications of any other party, any other billing, any other support options. It all comes back to the reseller. All right, so again, the cloud solution provider, again, gives us a lot of options. It gives you an easier way when you go out and acquire customers. You can, again, put the solution in very quickly. You can easily add add-ons. So one of the major add-ons that I recommend in the Office 365 world for most licenses is the ATP, Advanced Threat Protection. It's about $2.50, I think, per month. And again, that gives you advanced anti-phishing, anti-malware, anti-spam for your users. And again, if a user already has that, you can just go into the CSP portal, provision that, push that into the tenant for the user, and then assign the licenses and obviously add that to their monthly bill. All right. So again, you can do this on behalf of customers, bundle it into what you've done, push it into their portal, assign it, and make it easy. They don't have to go through the need to buy something off the shelf, put in license keys and whatnot. And again, if they change their mind next month, well, then you can remove those licenses, modify the bill, and go forward from there. All right. It also means that because you've got an aggregated view of all your customers in a portal that is provided by as a CSP reseller, again, you can look at the health of their environment. You can use something called delegated admin access, which allows you to use your partner credentials to admin multiple customer environments. So you can log into your tenant, and if delegated admin is set up appropriately, that would allow you to bounce across to their tenant to perform any actions that you need, set mailboxes, change passwords and whatever, while still just using your login and password. So again, if you've got technicians who need to work on different tenants, again, delegated admin access is going to allow them to easily move between customer tenants that are in CSP without having to log into each individual tenant and again, put the credentials in there. And also, obviously, you've got this ability to administer those. So you've got full range across that, SharePoint, Exchange, PowerShell as well. Again, it's just going to make it so much easier rather than having to log in and out of each individual tenant. You can all do that through the partner tenant that you have, and that's all thanks to the CSP program. So one of the key things to call out here is an understanding of the differencing when it comes to the billing of Office 365 and Azure, okay? The way those products are billed are different, and you need to appreciate that. They're both handled under CSP, but again, let's just run through how these are different. So with Office 365, basically, you sell a subscription to a customer, the services are created in the portal, they're pushed in there through the CSP, and they're assigned to users, and then Ingram will bill you for those licenses per user. Now, those licenses, it doesn't matter whether the user uses 1 megabyte of their inbox or 5 terabytes of their inbox, or 5 gigabytes of their inbox, sorry. It basically means that it's a flat rate per user per month. All right, so that's going to be a known billing. In fact, there's not going to be any variation there. Generally very easy to handle. Now, where the difference is when we talk about something like Azure. So the way that Azure is billed as an on-demand service. Basically, the more services from Azure you use, the more billing will be required. If you use less, you get billed less. If you use more, you get billed more. And that can vary on month to month to month. So what that means is, again, you sell the Azure subscription to the customer. The services are created in Azure. Now, the usage of those in Azure is then accumulated over the month, and then Ingram will send a bill to you for those Azure services in that month, and the partner will need to basically obviously then pay that to Ingram and then bill the customer plus what any margin or services on top. Now, as you can appreciate, there are situations where the customer starts using lots and lots and lots of Azure services here and can run up quite a bill. So the important thing to remember here is there are tools, there are the abilities to monitor, manage, and maintain it, but Office 365 is effectively a flat rate service per month, whereas Azure is consumption-based. Now, that is really fantastic. If the customer only uses 1 megabyte, that's all they get billed for. But as their usage grows, as more IaaS service or infrastructure is moved into Azure and their usage grows, so will their demand. Now, if you have this across a number of customers, again, you're going to get this variation, and you're going to have to make sure that you're going to have the resources to obviously make sure that those bills don't end up affecting your cash flow. So remember, the important takeaway here is Office 365 is a flat fee per month per user generally, where Azure is a demand. The more that is used, the more that is required to be billed. That'll be reflected in the CSP. And again, the advantage is you'll receive one bill from Ingram for all the customers that you're looking after. You can then break that up and bill the customers individually through your system. Same thing with Azure, you receive a global bill for all the Azure usage of all your customer tenants, and you can then go out and bill the customer. But remember, again, that Azure is based on consumption and will continue to grow. All right, so the idea here is that when a tenant is assigned via CSP, the CSP partner will have the right to that subscription. Can you change CSP partners? Yes. So if you are involved with a tenant or take over a tenant that is CSP, yes, that can be changed. Is it possible to have multiple CSP partners? Yes, it is. Now, where would that apply? If you have a partner that does CRM for you, they can push the CRM licenses in. You can continue to manage the Office 365. So again, it gives you that flexibility, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be one CSP partner per tenant, and that's pretty easy to change. All right, so all the rights are enabled in the management from your management portal, so you can get to the customer portal if you need using the delegated admin. All right, and again, you can create the services, you can push them in directly from the portal, and thanks to the Ingram Marketplace, you can also look at pushing in third-party applications that make sense for the customer as well. So it makes it easier from the back end. The admin and the billing can all be done from a single console to make life much easier for yourself and for the customer. Now, the last point there, again, to note is the partner needs to be aware of your support responsibilities. So that means under CSP, the partner is the primary or the initial point of contact. You can't say, well, at 5 o'clock, we close our doors and we'll get Microsoft to do support for the tenant. No, that's not the case. The CSP requirements are that the partner takes on that support requirement for the customer, like the invoicing, and then if there are issues, they need to escalate that through the distributor Ingram, and then that will be escalated to Microsoft. All right. Remember also that the accounts receivable here is that basically you need to make sure cash flow wise and contract wise that you're able to obtain that money for those licenses, for that consumption in Azure for your customers. So part of that may mean, for example, if you see your customer using more and more Azure every month, if they go from 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 over a number of months, maybe what you need to do is go to your customer and say, look, we see you're using more and more Azure. You therefore need to prepay us $1,500 a month because your usage is growing. All right, so the billing's back on you. So my advice would be is to make sure you keep a keen eye on that. And again, you can adjust your model and do prepayments up front, again, to cover any cash flow issues. But remember, there are responsibilities under CSP for support and also for receivables for what the consumer, what your customers do consume. All right, so again, basically what we've got is when we get to the Partner Center here in Microsoft, we've got the ability to do self-service, to provision these sort of things. It's nice and easy to use. Ingram is there to assist you. It has its own marketplace as well that will integrate with this as well to provide you all the ease of use as well for third party you can administer on behalf of, which means that you can use your partner credentials to access customer tenants to do maintenance on. Again, we support things like Office 365, Intune, EMS, Azure, and now Microsoft 365, all under the CSP program. And again, we can go and look at our invoices. And if you want to do some coding, you can actually go down, reach in via the APIs, and again, pull this into third-party services. So again, there are tools like ConnectWise and that may provide you some sort of link into this environment. We should expect to see more and more of these interfaces into it to give you that flexibility into the tools that you're using. But if you wanted to, you could certainly go in and write your own APIs. And plenty of content and resources that are available for CSP partners. It's a well-established program, has been running successfully for a number of years, growing in size. So you'll find that there are already a lot of people, a lot of partners using this quite successfully. And again, the general comment is that it reduces their overhead, makes admin easier, and also makes billing much easier because they get it effectively from a single portal. Now, my advice to you is, again, look at the program. This certainly is the preference going forward for partners. It also is a focus for Microsoft, and I would suggest that you lean on Ingram to provide you the resources to get you set up and provide any answers that you may have about this program. They're there to make it easy. They're there to allow you to integrate into Office 365, Azure, Microsoft 365, as well as additional third-party tools. So not only can you do the Microsoft, you can also do plenty of the third-party stuff, which you're probably providing to customers. Bringing it all under one environment, one portal, is going to make it so much easier. So with that, I think I've covered everything off, Emmy, and I will hand back to you. Oh, one more slide from me, sorry. The idea here is, as we've sort of mentioned, the idea is that we're looking to provide, the Microsoft and the disties are looking to provide the resellers with an additional stream of revenue. That additional stream of revenue on top of the licensing is the ability to bundle your own IP, whether that's training, whether that's extensions of the services, whether that's integration with third-party products. All right, so gone are the days when you can sell a product that everybody else sells and expect to make a good living out of it. You really have to take those products and, again, add your own unique flavor on that. With tools like Azure, Office 365, Microsoft 365, there's so much that can be bundled in there. So a good example is Microsoft 365, which requires or which allows you to manage the security of the devices, which is very, very important in our regulatory environment with the data breach legislation now in place. There's going to be a requirement for these to be set up for the customer to have policies placed on these. So again, rather than breaking it out into individual services, what we'd be doing is looking to bundle that. So again, if you buy the license, it includes this amount of money for the license per month to set it up on a device and also manage it and monitor it. So at the end of the day, like I said, you're still going to be able to make money out of selling licenses, but again, very, very small opportunities there and also very, very small revenue. Maintenance, setup, migration, yes, there'll still be opportunities there. Managed services are going to change. Yes, they're still going to need things done, but it's typically now going to be done with cloud services. So using intelligent tools that allow you to manage the licenses, push out the licenses, and do management from your own portal and login is going to keep your costs down. But the vast majority of opportunity here is going to be around adding the services, advancing the services, building your own unique offering that nobody else in the market can offer. And again, the way to deploy that is going to be through the CSP model that will keep your overheads down and make it easier for you to go to the customer with a single offering, with a single price, manage, maintain, and deploy it. So now I should be at the end of my slides, and now I will hand back to Emmy.
Thanks for that, Rob. So just to let you guys know, if you have any questions, please type them into the chat panel. For today's session, we'll actually be answering these questions after the session. So your cloud account manager or BDM will be in touch. So thank you so much, Rob, for going over what the CSP program entails and exactly why you should go on the CSP program as opposed to the other licensing programs that Microsoft offers, or why not. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of why CSP through Ingram Micro. So essentially, with Ingram Micro, it's not just about your Microsoft cloud services. It's about being able to expand your cloud services utilizing our other what Rob referred to as third-party vendors or ISVs. So essentially, it's about landing the opportunity. So for a lot of our resellers, as well as for Ingram ourselves, it's a lot about starting off with Microsoft Office 365 or starting off with the Microsoft solutions and starting off the conversation around that to get the customer onboarded. And then secondly, to expand to various other cloud offerings. So we have more than 20 leading ISV cloud offerings that are available through our marketplace, where you can easily upsell them on these cloud services to have a full bundle. So including things such as backup, security, other file sharing services, you name it. We are continuously growing our solution stack out. So we offer these solutions by three main ways. So because we have our own platform powered on Odin, we can offer you a different flavor of these cloud services depending on your appetite for billing your customers directly or having your own platform to spin up these cloud solutions. So we've got our cloud referral program. So at the moment, this is for Microsoft Office 365 services, where we bill your customers directly and provide you with a commission for sale of these services. You retain full control of your customers and you retain partner of record as well. So that's a new program that we've started up within Ingram. We've also got our main cloud marketplace, which over 90 or dare I say 99% of our customers utilize, which is what most people are familiar with, where you would spin up cloud solutions. We would bill you wholesale rate and then you bill out to your customer based on either RRP or any bundle that you might offer them, like including support, etc. So that third option is the cloud platform option. So that's essentially, we sell you our platform so that you can spin up cloud services and connect to various APIs yourself. So on top of that, we're not just going to leave you guys alone to sell these cloud solutions. We've got a training program. So for Microsoft, this is the Cloud Elevate program, which consists of in-person boot camps, as well as online webinars such as this one and on-demand videos as well. We've also got our exclusive reward program, Cloud Movers, which I will go through in a little bit more detail later. So what I'm going to go through in the bulk of what I'm going to speak about is actually our customer control panel module. So this is one portion of the marketplace that we have recently updated. So for some of you who have been with us for a while, this would mainly just be a refresher session. So the difference between the old control panel, which was fondly known as CCP, versus NextCP. So as you can see here, even just looking visually, to the left, it was very 1998. If you look at the NextCP image to the right, it's a lot more 21st century. So you retain many of the same management functions as you had in the old marketplace. So being able to manage licenses and to some degree services as well, depending on the level of the vendor's integration. But with the new NextCP on the right-hand side, you've got additional customization options. So this includes being able to customize the logo, even the URL, the favicon as well. You can also customize the pricing that your customers will see. And you can also customize how and what products are displayed as well, which was very different from the old customer control panel. So just letting you know, this is actually the part of the portal where we can provide you with a login for your customers to log into and interact with our systems directly. They will only see services that are pertaining to their own account. So don't worry, they won't see your reseller pricing at all. So a little bit more about the look and feel. You can see that it is a modern user experience. There are in-context upsell scenarios, so you can bundle in things the way that you want them. Say, have a business bundle, a small business bundle, and being able to accommodate that yourselves and being able to make that your own and put in the products that you want to as well. There is a consistent user interface across services and end users as well, just to make it easy for you to go between the different customers. There is an adaptive user interface for tablets and smartphones, as well as what I mentioned earlier, it is fully custom brandable. So you'll see that the navigation has changed quite a bit from the old control panel days. So you've got tiles and side menus as well. You've got improved dashboard navigation with that in-panel marketplace that you can see there that's circled. And you've also got streamlined account management as well, where you can view pending orders and service order history, review purchase subscriptions and status, and also purchase new resources or additional licenses that you for subscriptions you've already purchased, or apply new subscriptions to the account. So it's a lot more intuitive in terms of interacting with the actual control panel itself. So something else that we've added into the mix is real-time notifications. So I've seen this work really amazingly, especially when I'm on the phone to a customer. I help them through an order and then they see these notifications, they just pop up and you can see, okay, so this order has gone through, and then it says this order is processing, and then the next thing is you see this order is complete. So it's actually a very satisfying process. So I'm going to go through the next CSP advantages for Microsoft now, what we have available now. So right now it's a cleaner, more accessible experience for managing subscriptions and licenses compared to before. It's easier to add more licenses, more visually appealing, and purchase more add-ons as well as shop for new products or add-ons. It's also fast to provision, and we have improved validation for MPN IDs and addresses as well. So what we've got roadmap for Microsoft in the future is to be able to have that full integration with Office 365. So being able to manage users as well and being able to assign licenses to users. So at the moment, all the Ingram portal is doing is creating the subscription and creating the licenses and then putting them on the Office 365 tenant. And then you'll have to go to portal.office.com to actually manage the licenses and users. In future, that integration will be deeper and you'll actually be able to have some access and manageability from within our portal itself. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of why self-service and why we've put so much emphasis on essentially a side of the portal that a customer can log into. So more and more things are going self-service these days. So think of things like self-serve checkouts at the supermarket or self-service check-in for airlines. And the reason for this comes down to mainly 3 reasons, but I'll go through 2 in this slide. So first 2 reasons are convenience and efficiency. So also known as the Amazon experience. So you've got things such as increased speed of the transaction, increased efficiency, decreased wait times. Just think about it. If you have customers that require licenses yesterday, what would the benefit be of being able to empower your customers to increase the license themselves and being able to just get the license and not have to wait for, say, a purchase order to go through and having to contact you, but just being able to, at the flick of a switch, and pretty much instantaneously get that license. How much do you think your customer's experience would be improved by that? So the third one is around control. So it's about putting this control into your customer's hands. It's about being able to control the price that they see, have transparency over the different services that you have, and being able to choose the services that they want at their fingertips. So this is just a summary as to why should you as a reseller care about this self-service option. So essentially, customers can order new services or upsell on existing services from you themselves. This helps you drive greater profitability when they do that self-service. You don't have to touch anything and they purchase another service from you. This also relates to creating a new revenue opportunity for you. It enhances customer loyalty and retention when they add multiple services and get these multiple services from you instead of just 1 or 2. And it also helps you achieve more with greater flexibility. So being able to allow your customers to get purchase more services and having them to be able to do it at their leisure or when they actually need it. So the next thing I wanted to go through, which was one of our biggest updates with regards to NextCP, is the improved Azure CSP module. So there are 3 main elements to this. The first element is increased account visibility. The second element is faster resource deployment. And the third element was enhanced subscription management. Now, I'm just going to go through these in a bit more detail in the next few slides. So firstly, increased account visibility. So you can see at any time a snapshot of your Azure usage. So this is pretty much current, maybe delayed by about 24 hours at the most, but it is a snapshot of approximately what your spend is in any given point in time. You can also drill down to any resource groups that you've tagged, as well as have granular reporting on these resources with an explanation of the charges, whether they be by hours, by gigs, by users, by nodes, etc. You can also incorporate budget email alerts. So these budget alerts don't actually turn off your Azure services because that would be very detrimental. These budget alerts just let you know when you've reached 80 or 100% of a set budget that you've put in. So included with the new Azure module under the new NextCP is also faster resource deployment. So you can deploy resources directly from NextCP with either our templates, or you can use your own and add that to the portal, or you can grab one from a site like GitHub. So what it essentially allows you to do is to be able to deploy an Azure resource directly from our portal, as opposed to logging into the Azure portal directly. So I'm just going to go through a list of the pre-built templates that we've got at the moment. So we've got the Azure Backup Vault, Windows VM, Linux VM, WordPress, Linux, site-to-site VPN gateway, web app with SQL database, and the Linux Web Service VM. So I've got a video, but what I'll do is I'll send you guys through the slide deck so you can have a look at that at your leisure and see how to deploy these services. So incorporated in this new Azure module is enhanced subscription management as well. So as you can see, a lot of visibility into your Azure spend, as well as being able to manage multiple Azure subscriptions under the one tenant in the one place. So I think the image didn't quite come up, but that's okay. So you might have already heard about our promo and learning program Cloud Movers. So as part of the Cloud Mover program, there are a couple of things that you can do to earn points. So right now, the grand prize is a ski trip to New Zealand. I guess the other things I need to highlight to you is that you can attend an Accelerate webinar to gain the skills and stand out from your competitors. You can earn points through Skykick migration and backup as well. So Skykick have a special promotion going on at the moment where you can get free migration to certain workloads of Office 365. Of course, there are T's and C's. So sign up to the Cloud Movers program and find out more about that, as well as achieve more with Microsoft 365 and transform your sales into rewards. So have a look at our Cloud Movers website to see how you can do more about that. So that's really all I had for today. So as I mentioned, if you have any questions, please type those into the chat panel, and then we will get one of the cloud account managers to get in contact with you and to talk with you around that. So you can contact our team at that group email address, imcloudau@ingrammicro.com, or give us a call on 02 9381 6735. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening to both Robert and myself today. I hope you got something out of it, and do reach out to us and let us know if there's any questions that you might have, or any other way that we can help you.